Hello, in this video I will be talking to you about how I did a 36-hour food and technology fast. Alright, let's get in this. Wow, look at this. Second round, getting the service in your own home. This is wild, hey? What is your thoughts on this?
I'm happy for you.
I'm a happy dude right now. Here we go, round two, let's get in it. You have to believe. It all starts in your mind. A 36-hour food and technology fast. Wow, what a journey. But before we get into it, I have a special announcement to make. I'm happy to announce that there's a couple spots that just opened up for the Master Your Mind mentorship program with me. Click the link below, fill out a time slot, and let's see if we're a good match to get you to mastering your own mind. So before we get into the experience of fast and food fast, and we're about to get involved, so I can't even speak correctly because I got this food in my hand that I want to eat. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Here we go. Oh yeah. So let me lay a little bit of a foundation. So it all started with a podcast listening to Ed Milet talk to Joe DeSena. This guy is the creator of the Spartan Race. If you don't know what the Spartan Race is, I definitely get you to check that out. It's like a incredible physical obstacle journey that you go through. There's something like 50 obstacles, 21 kilometers of running, and some other variable as well. But it's just incredible. Such a feat of physical monument in the human experience. I've actually done some filming for the race in the Philippines. All right, we got some serious discipline going on right here. We got all this food, still waiting for the fast to be over. And you gotta sit right in front of all this food while you're ready to eat it all, but you're waiting for the right moment. But one of the things that got me curious was in the podcast, Joe says that he has his place in Vermont. Now, what he does is he gets kids to come there with him and do some training. So what happens is he gets the kids to train from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. And during that time, they don't have any food and they don't have their phones. And one of the things he wanted to test was he wanted to see how the differences is between the kids wanting their phone and wanting food. So what he did is he would put the phones on one table and the food on the other, and then said, okay, at 7 o'clock, you guys can go to whatever it is you want. And you know what was interesting? Guess what they chose? Yup, you probably guessed it. Their phones, which is incredible to think about. Like that, phones have become more addicting than our food. So one of the things that I wanted to try was, I was like, you know what? We fast from our food. Why don't I fast from technology? Why don't I actively take time away from the screen? Because I started thinking about it and I'm like, my days off aren't really days off, so to speak. I spend my days off listening to podcasts, listening to healing music, watching a documentary. It still involves technology. And right now, what I'm doing is I'm creating a lot behind the screen. So there's a lot of screen time for me. And I wanted to challenge myself. So let's get into the technology side first. So what was interesting in the morning when I just had this experience was I wanted to run through my day, as I do most mornings when I'm in meditation. So I went into my meditation and I started thinking about what should I do today. And I started thinking about all the things I wanted to do, and it all involved the phone. So I was like, maybe I'll listen to I can't listen to a podcast. Maybe I'll listen to music. Oh, I can't listen to music. Maybe I'll go to this place, like this beach. I can't get there because I need the GPS to get me there. This was a beautiful experience because I realized, wow, like I have a lot of dependencies on the phone. Now, I'm not a big social media guy, hence why I'm making a lot of stuff on YouTube now. And that may change in the future. But also, I'd invite you to try this because I wonder where your brain would be with not only technology but with social media. I think there would be, if someone that is actively using social media every single day, it'd be interesting to see what kind of polls come up in each moment, what kind of like quiet whispers from our phone, the thinking like, oh, did someone text me? I know I even had that during this experience. Who's WhatsApping me, who's contacted me in this 36 hours that I've been away from the phone, which was so fascinating to experience. So taking that side of the phone away, which was really powerful, but then taking the food side away too. On top of that, what a great experiment. So I wanted to experience what it's like to be in the moment. Now, I have this beautiful place, but I'm still doing my best to be grateful and send gratitude, and I do gratitude walks around this place. But I wanted to just be in this place with no distractions, no phone, and no food. Well, you know what's interesting? These are the two components that make up our day right now, is the times that we're going to eat, so we're constantly for hungry, we're thinking about what we want to eat, and the times that we're dissatisfied with the moment, we turn on to the technology. So I wanted to feel how many times I had those moments in this day of these, basically a full day and plus some, but I wanted to feel what it was like to go through my day without these things and sit in it. And you know what's interesting? I actually only got about 4 waves through the city, 36 hours, and I've done quite a bit of fasting. And if you're thinking about fasting, definitely do your research. But you know, I wanted to feel what it was like, and then on top of that, I wanted to go deeper into the experience. If that wasn't enough, on about the 18th to 20th hour, about the 18th hour, I believe it was, I went into a float tank. Now, if you don't know what a float tank is, it's essentially a sensory deprivation tank. It's filled with water, and it helps you to meditate, so to speak. It's like a meditation portal. And so what I did was I actually wanted to go in there on the arguably one of the harder hours of the fast, and be with all of it, but with no other distraction. Just be with the sensations in my body, be with the sensations in my neocortex. And to be honest, I don't often speak about my float experiences because it's hard to articulate in words, but I will tell you, this was one of my most interesting floats I've been in yet. And you know what's interesting? I didn't really think that much about food, to be honest. It was more so about the technology and what I was going to create. But while I was in there, I went to this place inside myself that I've yet to ever experience. And when you fast, I find that the neocortex is a lot more active, and because your stomach's not being filled, it's looking for other energy sources, so it activates the mind at a higher acuity. So I feel that my mental acuity is a lot higher. And the place that I went to, I can't quite articulate into words, but I do know what happened after I came back to my body, that my body was doing this. And I was like, hey, I literally had to communicate to my body. I was like, hey, body, I'm back. I don't know where I went. It's all good. You can calm down. You can calm down. And I really went to a place that I've yet to experience in the float tank, which was quite magical. And you know, what was interesting about the experience, and something that I got to learn, was I got to connect deeper to myself. That was what was really nice. I went and did yoga in the morning, and I just felt this deeper connection to me as a human being. And one of the things that I'd invite you to try in this experience is to feel if you're uncomfortable in the present moment. Now, you may think like, oh, wow, that'd be really nice, and that would feel really good. But you know what's interesting? We're so distracted in this day and age. We're so caught up with so many distractions in our daily life that it's like hard to enjoy the moment because we're constantly being distracted from it. So what's interesting is you give yourself a bit of time to remove these distractions. You actually can sit with yourself and just notice like, whoa, I'm on social media quite a bit, and I'm on it quite unconsciously. Or all the things I plan to do today is with my phone, and how much I actually am attached and how much I need my phone. But what happens in this opening, this space of opening, when you take out these things, when you take out the phone and the food, you get to be deeper with self. And you get to look at yourself on a different perspective. And I guess this is what I'm inviting you to do today, is that if you so choose to do something like this in your future, you get a chance to just peel it back a bit. Peel it back with yourself. Peel it back and connect deeper into who you are and what all this is. And that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm an inner seeker. I like to learn more aspects about myself. And what I'd invite you to do is to do both, to really go for it. And you may not have to do a 36-hour. One of the things that I found that was interesting, and it's a lot easier, is that if you have your last meal at night and you eat at night, then that first sleep is over your first bit of your fast. And then the real work doesn't happen till the second day with where your food is, like when you're eating your last meal. And then you sleep another time, and then that's basically makes up your 36-hour fast. So I went from 8 to 8 to 8, and then that was basically it. And once coming out of it, you know what, I felt great, and I'll give you a recommendation: be careful on how much you eat coming out of it. So with that, I share my peace and I share my love.